Welcome back. So we're having a look at the 2017 paper 1 and our live audience today is E3M5R. Thank you for the waving. All right, let's have a look. Given that f of x is equal to x squared plus 3x, evaluate f of negative 5. So this is a functions question. So f of negative 5, now we're just going to substitute negative 5 in for each of these x's. So we get negative 5 squared plus 3 times negative 5. So your f of negative 5 is going to be 25 plus negative 15, which becomes take away 15, so f of negative 5 is 10. Remember that you can pause at any time so that you can go over the question and try it yourself. Let's move on. The number of calls received by the police was recorded over 10 days. The results are shown below. And we've got a list of 10 results here. Find the semi-interquartile range of this data. Now remember, for a semi-interquartile range, the data must be in order. Now this is only a 2-mark question, so the data has actually been provided for us in order. So what we need is to first figure out where the median is and then use that to find our quartiles. So there are 10 pieces of data here. So our median will be between numbers 5 and 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So there's our midpoint. Our quartiles then are the middle of the bottom half and the middle of the top half. Here we go. Since these are odd numbers, we get exact values here. So we have Q1 and Q3. The semi-interquartile range is Q3 minus Q1 over 2. So we get 250 minus 218 halved is going to be, what's that, 32 divided by 2, which is 16. Nothing else asked about this data, so we're moving on. Evaluate 1 and 5/6 divided by 3/4, giving your answer in its simplest form. So if we're going to do this divide, what would be easier is to first turn our fraction into a top-heavy fraction. So we get 1 and 5/6 divided by 3/4 becomes, multiply by the bottom, sorry, and then add that onto the top. 6 plus 5 becomes then 11 over 6 divided by 3 over 4. Now to divide fractions, we flip the second fraction upside down and we turn our divide into a times. So that becomes 11 over 6 times 4 over 3. And we can simplify this a little bit because there are 2 2's in 4 and 3 2's in 6, giving us 22 over 9. Now it doesn't simplify any further since the factors of 22 are 2 and 11. And our factors of 9 are 1 and 9 and 3 and 3. Continuing on. Expand and simplify. So we've got our brackets here. We've got 2x plus 3 multiplied by x squared minus 4x plus 1. Now this is one of those 3-mark questions. There'll be 1 mark for getting any 3 terms correct, a 2nd mark for getting the other 3 terms correct, so having all 6 of them correct. The 3rd mark is for the simplification at the end. So let's get started. We're going to have 2x multiplied by each term in the 2nd bracket, giving us 2x cubed minus 8x squared plus 2x. And then we've got our plus 3 here multiplied by each of the terms in the 2nd bracket, giving us plus 3x squared minus 12x plus 3. So there's our first 3 terms correct, our second 3 terms correct. There's our first 2 marks. Our 3rd mark comes from the simplification that must include the cubed term. So we have 2x cubed, negative 8x squared plus 3x squared is negative 5x squared. 2x minus 12x is negative 10x. And we've still got this plus 3 on the end here. There's our 3 marks. Question 5, 3D awareness here. So our spatial reasoning. The diagram shows a square-based pyramid placed on top of a cube relative to the coordinate axes. So there's our x, our y, and our z. Here's our cube with a square-based pyramid sat on top. The height of the pyramid is half the height of the cube. A is the point 600. C is directly above the center of the base. Write down the coordinates of B and C. So if it's a cube, all of its sides are 6, and C is directly above the center. So we're going to have 3 in here, 3 up. We'll have the 6 up and the 3 of the height of the pyramid. But first we'll do B. So B, 0 on the x, 6 on the y, 6 on the z. So B is 0, 6, 6. C, like we said, it's directly above the middle. So we're going to have 3 on the x, halfway into the cube to give us 3 on the y, and then the cube is 6 tall, and we're told the pyramid is half the height of the cube, which is a further 3, giving us a total of 9. 3, 3, 9. Question 6. The diagram below shows a straight line joining the points A and B. Find the equation of the line AB. Give the equation in its simplest form. Alright, so given that we have 2 points and no y-intercept, we're going to use y minus b equals m brackets x minus a, which is our standard equation of a straight line. Now for that we need the gradient, and we can calculate the gradient. I'm going to put it over to the left here. I'm going to say m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So our gradient is going to be negative 2 minus 6 over 3 minus negative 1, which gives us negative 8 over 4, or negative 2. Now that we've got our gradient, I'm going to choose the b coordinate here to be my a and b. So I get y minus negative 2. Oh, that's interesting. Y minus negative 2 is equal to negative 2 brackets x minus 3. Now we break this out. We get y plus 2 is equal to negative 2x plus 6. Rearrange that a little bit. We get y is equal to negative 2x plus 4. So we take the 2 away from both sides there. Carrying on here, we've got in the triangle DEF, DE is 8 centimeters, EF is 12 centimeters, and the sine of angle E is 2/3. Calculate the area of the triangle. So from our formula sheet here, the area of a triangle, A is equal to a half AB sine C, where C is the angle between A and B. So what we have here is, so A equals a half AB sine C. So the area is going to be a half times 8 times 12 times, and sine of the angle we were told was sine E equals 2/3, so that's 2/3. We don't get the sine in here. Sine is gone, okay? Since sine C is equal to sine E in this occasion. So our area then gives us, what's that, 4 times 12 is 48. 48 times 2/3 is going to be 32. So 48 divided by 3 is 16, times by 2 is 32. And our units here are centimeters squared, since our lengths are in centimeters and it's the area of this triangle. Solve algebraically the inequality 19 plus x is greater than 15 plus 3 brackets x minus 2. Worth 3 marks here. So 19 plus x is greater than 15 plus, and we'll break this bracket out, 3x minus 6. So 19 plus x is greater than 9 plus 3x, I'm going to pull the x's over to the right and the numbers to the left. So take away 9 from both sides and take away x from both sides. Gives me that 10 is greater than 2x, or that 2x is less than 10. Divide both sides by 2 gives me that x is less than 5. Notice that the greater than and less than symbol swapped sides when I moved the x over. I basically swapped the entire thing around. Okay. So in the diagram shown below, ABE is tangent to the circle center O. The angle DBE is 58 degrees, so DBE is 58. Calculate the size of CAB. So there's CAB, and here this grayed out one. So I'm going to switch to purple because purple's ace. Now, OBE is 90 degrees, since that's a tangent to that line, giving us that this value in here is going to be 90 minus 58, which is 32 degrees. CBD is also 90 degrees, and we already know that that's going to be 58 degrees in here, which tells us then that this is also 32 degrees in here, just following this pattern round. Now, carrying this on, we know that if that's 32 degrees, since that's, since this is 58 degrees, since that is a radius and that is a radius, this must also be 58 degrees. 58 and 58 are 116. The angles in a triangle add up to be 180. So 180 minus 116 gives us 64 degrees in this corner here. And now we have a right angle triangle. We know that this is a right angle, since these are tangents, and we know 64 degrees in here. So CAB is going to be 180 minus 64 plus 90. So CAB is going to be 26 degrees. Okay. Change the subject of the formula. F is equal to t squared plus 4b over c, changing that subject to b. Okay, the very first move I like to do with these is to swap the left and the right hand sides. So I get that t squared plus 4b all over c is equal to f. And all I've done is swap them around. Now, I like to do that because we like to throw things off to the other side until we're just left with the b's on this side. So firstly, I'm going to get rid of the c's. So I'm going to say that t squared plus 4b is equal to fc. Then I want the b's on their own, so I'm going to get rid of these t squared. So I get that 4b is equal to fc minus t squared. And now I want b on its own, so I'm going to divide through by 4, giving me that b is equal to fc minus t squared all over 4. And now we have that same formula with b as its subject. Question 11. Express 3 over a squared minus 2 over a, where a does not equal 0, as a single fraction in its simplest form. So we've got 3 over a squared minus 2 over a. Now, the easiest way to have this as a single fraction would be to make the denominators the same, and I can do that by multiplying this second fraction here by a over a. Now, a over a is just 1, so I'm not actually changing this fraction, I'm just increasing our denominator to a squared, and as a result changing our numerator to 2a. This is the same process we use when we're rationalizing the denominator in surds and indices. So this becomes 3 over a squared minus 2a over a squared, which we can rewrite as 3 minus 2a all over a squared. Now if you cross multiply and have the whole fraction over a cubed, you'll then be able to take a common factor out and cancel to get this same answer. Question 12. Gym members are asked to fill out a questionnaire to rate the quality of the service provided. They're asked to give a rating on a scale of 1 to 6. The ratings by 5 members are as follows. 14636. In its simplest form, the standard deviation of these ratings can be written as a root b over 2. Find the values of a and b. So this is a standard deviation question, so we can use the formulas that are given to us on the formula sheet. Now, straight away we know that n is equal to 5, since there are 5 results there. I prefer to use the first equation, but it can be solved using either. But to use the first equation, we would set up a table as follows. We'd have x minus x bar, and x minus x bar all squared. We are also going to need to know what x bar is. So given that this is a non-calculator paper, we'll have to add these up. So 4 and 6 make 10, 1 and 3 makes 4, plus 6 is 10. So we get x bar to be equal to 20 over 5, which is 4. X bar is the sum of these divided by the number of them. So what we get then is 14636. X minus x bar is negative 3, 0, 2, negative 1, 2. And x minus x bar squared gives us 9, 0, 4, 1, 4. Now, in order to use the standard deviation formula, we need the sum of these. So the sum of this is going to be 10 plus 8 is 18. And now we can use our formula. We get that s is equal to the square root of 18 over 4. Now our surds and indices here, sorry, n minus 1 is 5 minus 1, which is 4. Surds and indices lets us simplify that. That's root 18 over 2. And already we're looking like we're in the right format. Now, 18 can be written as the square root of, root 18, sorry, can be written as the square root of root 9 times 2 all over 2, which gives us then the standard deviation is equal to 3 root 2 over 2. Therefore, A equals 3, B equals 2. Just to put it back to the original question. Now, it's a 4-mark question, so it is okay to take that, to take your time with that. Question 13. The graph below shows two straight lines with the equations 3x minus y equals 2 and x plus 3y equals 19. The lines intersect at the point P. Find algebraically the coordinates of P. So this is a simultaneous equations question. So let's set these up. We've got 3x minus y equals 2 and x plus 3y equals 19. Now we want to solve what x and y are, so I'm going to call this equation 1, this one equation 2. Now the easiest way for me to get rid of these is to scale the y's here, because I've got positive and negative y. So I'm going to take equation 1 and multiply it by 3, giving me that 9x minus 3y is equal to 6, and I'll call that equation 3. If I add equation 2 and equation 3 together, my y's will eliminate one another. Apologies. Giving me that 10x is equal to 25, so x must be equal to 2.5. I'll take that 2.5 and put it back, so I get, I'm going to put it into equation 2 just so it's nice and simple. So x equals 2.5 in equation 2 gives me that 2.5 plus 3y equals 19. So 3y is equal to 16.5. Therefore, y must be equal to 5.5. I can check that using equation 1. So check with 1. So 3 times 2.5 minus 5.5 should equal 2. So 6, 7.5 minus 5.5 equals 2, which we know to be right. So the point P, let's actually go back and answer our question. P is going to be the point 2.5, comma 5.5. I think they would also accept 2.5 and 5.5, or the top-heavy fractions for those. I just prefer decimals. Question 14, the graph below shows a parabola with the equation of the form y equals x plus a all squared plus b, so that's a completed square. State the equation of the axis of symmetry of the parabola, the equation of symmetry of the equation of the axis of symmetry of the parabola x equals -5. State the value of a. So we know that from here that in the completed square form, the equation of symmetry comes at x equals -a. So at x equals -a is our equation of symmetry, giving us then that a must equal 5. The point -3, 8 lies on the parabola. Calculate the value of b. So if we look at our formula, so we had y equals x plus a all squared plus b, y equals x plus a all squared plus b. We know what x and y are for this particular point, and we know that a is 5. So 8 is equal to -3 plus 5 all squared plus b. So we get then that 8 is equal to 4 plus b, giving us then that b must be equal to 4. Just substituting our values in using the 5 that we calculated earlier. And the last question on the paper. In the diagram below, TS is parallel to QR, TS is 5 centimeters, QR is 7 centimeters, SR is 2.6 centimeters. Calculate the length, the length of PS is X centimeters. Calculate the value of S. So this is a scale factor question. Now, S is the length of the smaller triangle's base. But the larger triangle's base also includes that x is x plus 2.6. So I'm going to call the smaller triangle our new and the larger triangle the old. And our linear scale factor is new over old. So that gives us 5/7. So if we want to apply that, that means that x is equal to x plus 2.6. 2.6, haven't one of those mornings. 2.6 times 5/7. Okay. So we get then that x is equal to 5x/7 plus 2.6 times 5 is 13/7. Multiply through by 7, and we get then that 7x equals 5x plus 13. X is to the left-hand side. We get 2x is equal to 13. So x must be equal to 6.5 centimeters. Just halving our 13. And that's the end of the question paper. So any questions into the comments below, and I'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks very much.